we are doing something very out of the norm for me. I'm not usually like a book talk or book YouTube kind of girly. I used to read a lot more when I was younger, but I don't know, as I got older I just stopped reading as much. But I realized that I recently got a few books in my possession. One of them I have read, the other ones I haven't yet, and so I thought that I would try my hand at doing a little book haul. Luna, as you can tell, has joined us. She has a little bit of the zoomies right now. She is 11 weeks now, and I very clearly see that she sleeps a lot less during the day now, so we're really gonna try our hand at this filming thing. I'm actually planning on filming a podcast episode after this, and that's gonna be real interesting, so wish me luck. I really want her to come over and say hi to you guys, but I don't want to rile her up any more than I need to, so we're just gonna wait to see if she makes her way over here. If you hear any pitter pattering, any like nail sounds that aren't mine, you know where that's coming from. If you are new here, I have a 11-week-old Siberian kitten that you just saw, and she is not so used to the filming yet. She sees a bunch of wires and tripods and she's just like in kitty heaven. But we're gonna see how much she lets me get through. She's playing with the remote control right now, so we're gonna let her be. But these are the books that I have to show you here. So I have 5 of them, and you're gonna laugh because these go all the way from like fantasy, and again, I'm not really a big fiction, like fantasy reader anymore. For select reasons, I just kind of learned that I had to take a step back from reading all the like romance novels, and I don't know, for some people it messes with you a little bit in your head, and so I learned that the hard way, and I kind of took a break from those. But it goes anywhere from like fantasy to, I got a Bible in here, so we're really just going on both ends of the spectrum here. But if you have been with my channel for a while, you know that that's just me in a nutshell. So alright, let's just get into it. So I have these 2 books here. I'm sure some of you have read this series. This is the Throne of Glass series. It's like it's a fantasy type of fictional series. This is the 2nd book, and this one is the 3rd book, and there are 7 books in this series, I believe, and each one gets a lot bigger. I read the 1st book over the summer, I believe at the end of the summer, or maybe like September, I don't remember, but around that time. And my best friend, Joanna, she's been on my channel a few times. Maybe some of you remember her. I have shared, I think, that her and her husband just had their first baby, and he is such a cute little peanut. Oh my goodness. I was gonna say his name, but that's not appropriate. But he is I just adore him. He feels like my little nephew. And I think they're gonna raise him to call me 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, I think, because I went and I saw them the other day, which is why she gave me these books. We'll get into it. But her husband was like, "What do you want him to call you, like 𝓢𝓸 or auntie?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm honored." Anyway, so she was the one, she read the whole series, and she owns the whole series, and she was the one back in the summer was like, "You have to read this, like I really think you'll like it." I loved it, and I don't think she's like a huge reader either, so I'm not sure how she got into the series, but she got me into it. So I read the 1st book and I liked it. I gave it back to her, and I kind of just forgot about it. Like, I didn't think to ask for the other books, supposed to be going to Georgia for a wedding. I just got word this morning that I might not be going, but it's irrelevant at this point. But I thought I was gonna have 15 hours of driving and you know, just sitting in a car, because I wasn't gonna be the one driving. I was gonna be in the back seat, so I wanted something to entertain myself. So I texted Joanna and I asked her if she had the other books and if I could borrow them. So she gave me the second and the third book. Now I'm gonna have to read a recap of the first book. The first book was called Throne of Glass, and from what I remember, I say her name Selena. That's how I pronounce it in my head. I don't know how you're actually supposed to pronounce it, but I say Selena, and she is like a, I'm gonna have to read a recap. It was so long ago, but from what I remember, she is an assassin, and it's very like Hunger Games sort of vibe, where all of these like assassins are criminals. Are they criminals? I don't know, but they're in a competition to be like head assassin and like work in a castle or something. But then there's like corruption along the way, of course, and whatever. But she ends up winning in the first book. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but also I don't think it is, because there's 7 books. So anyway, this is the second one. I should have said it from the beginning. Those series is by Sarah J. Maas. She is a #1 New York Times best-selling author. So the second one is called Crown of Midnight. Very different for me. Even when I was like a big reader, fantasy was never my thing. But I liked the first book. So it says, the synopsis: Selena 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪 won a brutal contest to become the king's champion. Okay, I was right. But she is far from loyal to the crown. Though she goes to great lengths to hide her secret, her deadly charade becomes more difficult when she realizes she's not the only one seeking justice. Her search for answers ensnares those closest to her, and no one is safe from suspicion. Not the Crown Prince Dorian, not Chal, the captain of the guard, not even her best friend Nehemiah, a princess with a rebel heart. Then, one terrible night, the secrets they have all been keeping lead to an unspeakable tragedy. As Selena's world shatters, she will be forced to decide once and for all where her true loyalties lie and what she is willing to fight for. The second book in the #1 New York Times best-selling The Throne of Glass series returns readers to a land destroyed by liars, where one woman's truth is the only thing that can save them all. I also really like the artwork. So that's the synopsis for the second one. And then the third one, I'm not going to read the synopsis. I haven't read it just because, in case it spoils anything in the second book, I don't want any spoilers. But it's called The Heir of Fire. This one is a little bit thicker, and like I said, my friend has all the books, so she showed me them on her bookshelf. And the last 2, I think, are like really big. So I will be busy for probably a while, but it gives me flashbacks to like reading the Twilight series when I was younger. And Joanna also read them with me back when we were 11 or 12. And how each of those books got bigger, and I remember feeling like I was so cool being 11 and reading a book that was like this thick. So it's definitely giving me flashbacks to that. And so, let's see, the other books are called... So there's The Assassin's Blade, which Joanna was telling me about. It's like a prequel. I didn't read it. I don't think she did either, but that's like the first one. I don't know. Then A Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. So we'll see how far I get. But if I like them the way that I liked the first one, then I'm probably going to read all of them. And it's very convenient that my friend owns them all, so I don't have to buy them. I don't really like buying books because, like, I'm not the type where I'll never reread this. So why am I going to spend $150, $200 on a whole series if I'm never going to read it again? That's me. Personally, I love, like, Haley Jean with her huge bookshelf and all the books that she collects. You know, I watch all her book videos and I watch her bookshelf tour. I love it, but I don't have that, nor do I have the space for it, so I personally just don't like to buy them. But I love watching people that do, so no hate at all. But that's just not my vibe. So yeah, I spent 11 minutes talking about this one series, but I'm really excited. If you have read them, don't give me any spoilers, but tell me if you liked the series and if you think I'm gonna like it, because I'm excited. And even if I don't go to Georgia, it's gonna take me a lot longer to get through these books, but I still want to read them regardless. Just that little furball over there, she makes it harder for me to do anything, but I love her, so it's okay. Alright, the next one, I actually got this one not for free, but kind of. I went to the Elevation Worship concert. I actually went twice in February. I went once with a group of my friends from church, and then I took my mom like the next week, so I went twice. If you don't know, Elevation Worship is like a Christian band. They're based out of North Carolina, is where Elevation Church is. That's where they got their start, and this guy, 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, is their pastor. Yeah, they're like lead pastor of their church. Their church is huge. I would say it's a mega church now, right? I'm pretty sure. And anyway, so we went to the concert and they were selling these, but we went, and my friend somehow, I didn't even realize because she bought all the tickets for us. She got us like the VIP tickets, which really was just you go like an hour earlier and a few members of the band come down and they do like an acoustic worship set with you. It was cool, but it was very short. And anyway, if you went to that, you got a book for free, so I wouldn't have bought this myself personally. No hate, I just know that I wouldn't have, but I got it, and so now I'm gonna read it, and then I told my mom after I'm done, if she wants to read it, she can. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm gonna be super, super vulnerable with you, because you guys just know that that's my vibe. I am weary of, I hope you understand me when I say this, I am sometimes weary of some of the pastors of the big mega churches. And like this guy pops up on my Instagram reels like all the time, and there's always something that I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I would not have bought this myself. But as I get older and more mature, I'm learning that the content in this book is all I really need. I'm not looking to follow himself. I don't put pastors or people like that like on a pedestal. It's really important not to do that. I think I did that when I was younger and it resulted in a little bit of hurt. We won't get into that, but I'm sure some of you maybe can relate. And this is me, I'm a Christian, I go to church every Sunday. I'm just being very vulnerable. I'm just weary of certain things sometimes, but that doesn't mean that the content in this book isn't good. So I'm still gonna read it. He was actually at the concert and came out and did like a little book sort of advertisement, and he preached a little sermon based on his book, and it was good. Like, it's a good sermon. He knows what he's talking about. But I'm just careful. So anyway, it's called Do the New You, 6 Mindsets to Become Who You Were Created to Be. So I definitely think I'm gonna learn some things. I think I'm gonna take away some things. We love a self-help book. And I think this is a quote from inside the book. It says, "I believe with all my heart that God wants you to see yourself as he sees you, which is a lot more fully than you see yourself. Which is true. Then he wants to help you live out that God-given identity. That is that is the heart of this book, to help you align your mindsets with God's vision for you so you can live the most authentic version of yourself." So I think that's really cool. And then I want to read the synopsis. Yeah, so it says, "Which will you do? Do you ever get a glimpse of your yourself that is exactly who you want to be, but always seems just out of reach. The happier, kinder, less stressed, more courageous you. The ideal version of you isn't imaginary at all. It's actually the authentic you trying to break through. And it's not a future version of yourself you have to chase. The true you may be new to you, but it's not new to God. It's the you he knew all along. It's beautiful. In Do the New You, New York Times bestselling author and pastor Stephen Furtick speaks directly to the challenge of living out your God-given identity and calling. He explores and unpacks the 6 practical mindsets everyone can adopt to get you from who you are today to where God is taking you. And then he has the 6 statements here, and he introduced this to us when he came out at the concert. So the first one is, I'm not stuck unless I stop. Christ is in me, I am enough. With God there's always a way, and by faith I will find it. God is not against me, but he's in it with me, working through me, fighting for me. 5, my joy is my job. I like that one. And the last one, God has given me everything I need for the season I'm in. And then it says, these simple, powerful, memorable phrases will shift your focus, feelings, and actions to align with God's vision of you. God isn't just calling you to do you. He's calling you to do the new you, the unique and powerful person he created you to be. So, we're going to read it, and we're going to see how it goes. I have never really watched his sermons, and I haven't read anything from him. The first time I ever heard him preach was at that concert. So, it's not fair of me to judge based on, I don't even know what I was basing it on, past hurt, or I don't know. So I don't want to judge until I read it, so I'm going to read it. And I kind of got it for free, so it'd be dumb not to read it. So, we'll see. I feel mean. I hope that didn't come across as like judgmental or mean. I hope you guys know where I'm coming from. I don't know. I hope I don't regret saying that. Okay. And let me just say, like, his message he preached at the concert, fantastic, like, on fire. The concert, one of the best concerts I ever went to. So, let me just say that. I'm very grateful for it. Okay, the next one. I wasn't sure if I was going to put this one in here. It's another, like, self-help book. I just don't know what else to call it, but I think it falls into that category. This is called Single, Dating, Engaged, Married. I wasn't gonna put this in here because I was like, I feel like I'm exposing myself, but also we're homies at this point. I don't think it's a big deal. This book, I read it already. I have read it. I have highlighted. I have underlined. I have circled. I read this actually a little while ago. And this completely changed the way I thought about dating. It changed the way I thought about relationships, marriage. So basically what it is called Single, Dating, Engaged, Married, Navigating Life and Love in the Modern Age. And it's by Ben Stewart. And it's basically about making the best of every single one of those stages, what they actually mean, defining what each of those stages are, and then making the best of them. And it just really, like, truly transformed the way that I thought about every single one of these stages. How to be thankful for every single one of them. Obviously, I have never experienced the engaged or married one yet, but it helps you think about ways that you can almost like mentally prepare for them and just make the best of them when the time comes. And it's a book that I really like. This is something that I would go back and reread the engaged part for when I am engaged, reread the married part for when I'm about to be married. Like, this I would go back to, this kind of book, and that's why I circled and highlighted a lot of things so that I remember what stood out to me and what parts I would want to revisit. So let me read you the back. It says, navigate the 4 critical seasons of a relationship. The vast majority of young people will pass through the key stages of singleness, dating, engagement, and marriage at some point in life. life, yet they are delaying marriage longer than any generation in human history. Studies show a dramatic rise in self-reported loneliness among the young. All of our technological connectivity has made us feel more connected. In many ways, the very screens that are meant to link us to each other have become shields blocking us from the deep intimacy we crave. Mic drop. It's so true. We need the skill set to know how to journey through life and how to select the right people to journey alongside. This book will help you chart a course through the 4 relational stages. In each, we will look at what eternal purposes should be pursued. And as we embrace God's purposes for every stage, we can enjoy the confidence of knowing that we are leveraging our lives for what matters most. It's just so interesting. And obviously with something like this, you have to take everything with like a grain of salt. I don't think that there's one message that is going to speak to everybody in the exact same way. Everybody's different, everybody's experience is different, everybody's timeline is different, but it'll just make you think of things from a new perspective. And I really truly think everyone should read this. My girlfriends from church and I were reading another book right now, but after that one is done, I'm going to recommend that they read this. I have guy friends that I think would benefit from this too. It is not just for women, it's written by a man. And it really just was phenomenal. I follow Janine Amapola. She's a influencer, she's a speaker, she's a podcaster, all the things. And over the summer I was watching one of her podcast episodes and she recommended this, so this was her recommendation. I probably wouldn't have found it otherwise. And it's just really good. It's not a big read. It's really not. You can get through this pretty quick, depending on your circumstance. I didn't even see. Oh, these are just the sightings. Never mind. But so good, guys. Really, like, out of everything I should. Well, this is the only one I've read, so never mind. I was gonna say out of everything I've shown you, this is the one you should read. But I haven't read the other ones, so I actually can't say that. But truly, like, from like a sisterly place where I think of you all as like my friends and my little brothers and sisters if you're younger, or you know, whatever. My sisterly advice, my loving advice. Everyone should read this. Whether you're married, doesn't matter. You don't have to be single to read this. It's just really, really good. Really enjoyed that one. I have like cat hair in my mouth. Sorry. The last one, I'm not going to talk about too much. I just wanted to show it to you because it's pretty. I made a unboxing and like setup video over on my TikTok, so I'll put that here for you to see. But I got a new Bible and I just think it's really pretty and I just want to show you. So we all know what the Bible is, we all know what's in it. I bought Bible tabs from Amazon, which I did that for my old Bible, and it really just changes the game. It really changes the game for me, because I don't know. I mean, I'm getting better as I read more of the Word, but I'm not, like, I don't know, like, exactly where this book in the Bible is going to be, you know. I'm not there yet. But this Bible is beautiful. It's suede. You guys know I'm a neutral girly, so brown suede is like so up my alley. And it's from Hosanna Revival. So you can just Google Hosanna Revival. I follow them on Instagram too. That's how I bought it. I bought it through Instagram. And they all have different designs. I personally like the NLT, New Living Translation, so that's what this is, but they have a bunch of different translations, whatever you feel comfortable with. I know some people don't like the super contemporary versions, and I totally get it because it's farther away from the actual translation of like the original text, but it's just easier for me to remember. One day I'd like to work my way up to more advanced translations, but for now I live with the NLT. It says, "Be still and know that I am God" on the back, which is Psalm 46:10. And the main reason I wanted to get a new Bible, because there's nothing wrong with my old Bible, I love it, but this one has space for you to write notes in the margin. margins, because I noticed that in my old Bible, I was reading and I would try to write really, really small, like in the margins, like little notes and stuff, and it just wouldn't fit. And I was like, okay, if I'm really gonna like dive into this and really, really do it and like study the word, then I'm gonna need to do it right. So you can see I'm like starting to write little notes. Sorry, I know that's bright. I'm starting to write little notes in the margins. So I just wanted to show that to you because I think it's beautiful. This one, like, I will probably always leave this at home. I don't think it'll ever leave the home. And then the other one can be my travel one if I ever want to bring it somewhere. So, but that is it, guys. That was my little book haul. So I hope that you enjoyed. I tried to do some like book tapping. I didn't do any page turning, but I love book videos. Even if I never read any of the books that the content creator is showing, it's just the book sounds. It's like, it reminds me of being in school and your teacher would like handle the books and like show you the books and do all the things, the hand movements and all the things. That was like one of my earliest school memories, was the way, like ASMR school memories, was the way that the teachers would handle the books. So I saw the opportunity to make one for myself and I was like, we're taking it. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see